Hi, Michael Holm again. I've got three poems for this video. The last video I did, number three, talked about me volunteering at a Winwick hospital, the sort of old-fashioned mental asylum. Well, what happened was um, a course came up, and it's my mother that spotted it. Actually, it was an MSc in computing, so I just went for it. That's how I've always been, really. Just keep trying things and hope something will work someday. And uh, before I talk any more about that, I just want to say that um, I kind of had this like extreme self consciousness when I was struggling with the psychotic kind of thing, and I remember reading a bit of the famous Scottish psychiatrist uh, R.D. Lang, his book, The Divided Self. I mean, I read only a little tiny bit of it. It's too much for me. I couldn't handle it. But in that book, in The Divided Self by R.D. Lang, he actually mentions self-consciousness. That's the name of the chapter. I think it's chapter 7. I checked, and I wrote a poem back in 2001 called self-consciousness, and that's what I'm gonna start with, because it just lays some more foundation about what this how this all this feels and how it can affect you. So this poem is called self-consciousness. Can you see what I'm thinking, or see through my eyes? What was that smile about? Am I transparent? I shyly mirror your grins and attempt the odd fake chuckle, sometimes inappropriately and socially stumble. I'm lost and aim to be polite, but my frown betrays me. Do you see it? If I had words to say, it'd be like balm, but my lack of focus is a social handcuff. You leave, and I relax until we meet again, to greet or not to greet. We meet several times. I say hello. How weak I feel. I'm my own proverbial fly. That's the so-called fly on the wall. The last line wasn't part of the poem. Yeah, so well, with that sort of a state, this like excessive self-consciousness, and I'm feeling trapped when I'm with people, and not able to get away from people because is it rude, and I don't know what they're saying because I'm so stressed and I can't take it in. And so that was one, like, well defined thing that was going on. And I went to the to study computers for an MSc. I'd got a BSc in chemistry before, and that was like that was enough to be like a prerequisite for doing the MSc's conversion MSc. So the thing is, though, um, the first day of my MSc, I met a lady called Clare, and I didn't know at the time, but I spent the next 18 years of my life with her, um, until she died. And I really could have done with sort of getting away from her after 2 or 3 years, but um, I was unable to. So I got the MSc in computing, by the way, and I ended up marrying Claire, and etc. And you know, uh, she was 15 years older than me, and she wouldn't let me grow. So this poem describes how we were after a few years together. This was written in 2001 as well, and this was written at the time. So this I wrote this about that day kind of thing. So it's called Night In. I sit with my palm top computer trying to compose this poem. You, with your microphone and mixing desk, were singing upstairs in the room we call the playpen. Is this life then? Lucy's brindle coat is drying by the fire. My trousers are damp too. You don't take the dogs at night. That's my job. What with the parrots? We've a little family of a sort. I ought to stop worrying whether we're normal. See, I think the thing with Claire, really, I probably haven't mentioned, but I started learning the piano straight after doing my first degree when I was 21. I still play now. I'm like nearly 54. I'm getting quite good, you know. But she was she was a piano teacher, you know. So I leave the the mental hospital thing. I don't know what else is going to happen. And then the first day, I was like a few years into learning the piano, mad on it. And the first day on this MSc, I meet a piano teacher, and I'm not going to go on about my relationship with Claire so much because it won't help anybody. But I did end up kind of trapped, and for 18 years didn't evolve as a person particularly. So the next poem, this is the last poem of this one, and it's a little bit more about how me and Claire were. Well, like I say, I'm not going to bore you with this 18-year relationship. It's not really relevant. It was just not good. So this is called Clare and I, and this was written 4 years after the last poem. So Clare and I. I'm sitting drinking alcohol-free beer upstairs as you teach the piano down, jaded by the sound of student scales. I don't play much now. We met through music, talked over curries, and into the night about Beethoven, Bach, whether Gould's second Goldbergs were all right. Thought music would do. Like the art of fugue, our counterpoint is scarcer now, but loyalty has taken its place. I can see we're in it for the duration. Another duo will find our voices. Yeah, so about 7 years on from when I wrote that, Claire passed away. And remembering I was 15 years younger than her, it was only after she passed away that my life was able to begin, and for a long time indeed, I had absolutely no insight really. So I'm going to leave it there, and we'll think about where best to pick it up in the next video. I suppose my message, for one, in the last poem, it was a mention about normal. There is no such thing as normal. I believe in the individual. The individual cannot exist if we're all normal. They're all the same. So that was mentioned, and also what I found out, and it was not easy, was that even a love of something like classical music, which is a big subject, it's not enough. Life is vastly bigger. So, right, thank you for watching.